Brad Devon Boykin was the third highest graded safety in football this year.
Doesn't surprise me at all. Least surprising thing I've heard all day.
I really enjoyed Hoosier Connect's tweet during
I
the Super Bowl.
I knew that too. Sorry for the attitude. That's on me.
What? No, you're good. I was just saying. I said I enjoyed Hoosiers Connect's tweet about during the Super Bowl, tweeting 30 minutes of highlights of the national championship game as one of the more boring Super Bowls of our lifetime is being played. I thought that was unbelievably hilarious. I appreciated it.
Yeah. It was it's a pretty boring Super Bowl. I had heads presented by FanDuel. Heads on the FanDuel Sportsbook. I had heads, cash, AJ Barner, first tutty, go Hoosiers, cash, Seahawks spread, and money line. That was the big whales. That was such an obvious play for me. Cash. Big day.
I hit a bunch of props, Brad. I had Mac Hollins anytime. I had largest lead, 14 and a half.
I
had Pat's first possession to end in a punt. I also had Kenny Walker longest rush, and I had Trey Henderson longest yak. And Trey Henderson hit at the end of the game.
Yeah, that was a late one. No, it was like the last play of the game, right?
Yeah.
And I think that was an awesome one. And I think I had a buddy who had also a FanDuel Sportsbook, had Travion Henderson over receiving yards, and I was able to cash from that play as well. Last play of the game.
Incredible. So in that sense, an unbelievably exciting Super Bowl, but the game wasn't great. But
when you have the FanDuel Sportsbook, even the worst of Super Bowls can be the best Super Bowl. That's an ad read. All right, there we go. I don't know. That was off the dome. I'm sorry.
I'm freestyling right now.
Yeah.
Clint Kubiak, who was the offensive coordinator of the Seahawks, is now officially the head coach of the Raiders. He confirmed as much on the field after the game. He was then in Raiders gear either yesterday or today, talking to the camera, talking about how he met with Max Crosby already, and he's got a ton of film to watch about who they're going to take with the number 1 overall pick. Mark Davis was a lot less coy about the number 1 overall pick and was like, we hired Clint Kubiak because we're probably going offense with the first overall pick. So do with that information what you will. But the Clint Kubiak is official, and now he can start putting together his staff. Did
you say with the first overall pick or with the first pick? That's important.
Mark Davis?
Yeah. Do you say first overall pick or do you say first pick with the first pick? That's different.
Now I gotta. Next time you go on a tangent, I'm gonna find it.
If he says first overall pick, that means he's not trading back. That can happen.
You're right.
Like the Raiders have a lot of holes on their team. There's plenty of former first-round quarterbacks floating around there, where you can use as a placeholder while you build the rest of the team up. I'm just throwing it out there. I don't think, I think it's for sure Fernando's 1 overall.
Well, here, let me read you.
I think it's only 90% sure he goes to Las Vegas.
This is going to answer your question. This is the quote from Mark Davis. He said, "It came down to where we are this year, having the first pick in the draft and everything, and understanding that there's a good chance we'll go on the offensive side of the ball. So it might be a good chance that we would want a young offensive mind that could grow with somebody."
Okay. So it sounds like
Fernando Mendoza jerseys are already printed and about to be sold in the team store.
That's what it sounds like to me as well.
Funny enough, Brad, if you can bet on Fernando to win MVP, he's plus 1,500 or plus 15,000 right now with no team. Snugged in there with like JSN and Gibbs and.
Yeah, he was top of the NIL store for a long time until Keaton Wagler came around. Now he's the king of the NIL store now. But
our boy is growing up. He is first, and the last thing on I think this is the last thing on Fernando that I have written down, but he's the no-brainer quarterback 1, obviously. And it was so obvious to me and you and Indiana Hoosier fans, but to watch the way people tried to spin it any other way this year was insane. And I was watching Ian Horitz put like highlights and different stuff on the timeline, and just like thinking back to the way opposing fan bases and media pundits tried to paint Fernando versus what he actually was and where he's going to end up, especially like in culminating and being the number 1 overall pick. Like, fuck everybody. You know what I mean? Like, fuck all of you. Like that's what you guys deserve. I don't know. And I'm not saying that to the Indiana Hoosier fans. I'm saying that to the doubters and the haters and you guys look like idiots. Sorry.
Yeah, it was very obvious after the Illinois game that he was probably going 1 overall to me. When it doesn't matter what throw, like the back shoulders to Surratt, the efficiency in that game overall. Like, you just want box score, watch them. Efficient. It was one of those games where we had more touchdowns than incompletions. The layered throw to EJ to the back of the end zone. Like, there was a lot of good tape. And then you just go to next week where they're in Iowa. He throws that back shoulder to EJ Williams just from the opposite hash, like just stupid, gross, like what the hell? And then just coming up with clutch plays at the end. Like, if you didn't understand by mid-October that he was going 1 overall, like, I question your ability to neutrally look at the game and understand what's going on without bias is my whole take, coming from the master of the eye test.
That's a lot more eloquent than I put it, Brad. I would full-blown agree with you there. We got Curt Cignetti unfiltered.
My vernacular is eclectic. I'll tell you that.
That's a throwback for the listeners. We got Curt Cignetti unfiltered from Bison Drop on Monday, 30 minutes. It was incredible. I really enjoyed it. I thought there were some missed opportunities in there when he was talking about Derek Owings to like not ask him about Derek Owings when he brought him up by name twice. But I thought it was an incredible interview. I always love when those guys sit down together. And I don't know if you were able to listen to it, Brad, but there was a portion there where to me, if you just sat Curt Cignetti down and just read him the list of incoming transfers and let him talk about it like that, would have been like, I could have listened to that all day. And they did a couple of the transfers. Like he asked him about Josh Hoover and he asked him about Nick Marsh and Toby Unsansami and AJ Harris, I think was the other one he asked him about, and Joe Brunner. And to listen to Sig break those guys down and to learn that Sig spends one-on-one time with all the portal guys. And like, he's not bringing anybody into the program that he didn't spend at least 30 minutes with. Talking to them, learning who they are, watching their film and all that good stuff. So really, really insightful talk. The Bison Drop is doing an awesome job. I hope this means that we're going to get the return of the player's perspective, because it seems like Bison Drop and Hoosiers Connect are one and the same. So I hope the player's perspective returns, because I really personally enjoyed that. But yeah, if you haven't checked that out, definitely go check that out from Bison Drop. Brad, did you see Audrey Marr's feature on Drew Evans?
No, I did not, actually.
IU Media School grad, and I believe she's out in Wisconsin doing news, but she put together a feature on Drew Evans that made it to the timeline. I retweeted it. Definitely go check that out. It was a really cool just story about the type of player Evans is and his fit on the team and becoming a hometown hero type of deal. So really, really cool story. We got some news on EA Sports College Football 26 stars of the season for Ultimate Team. Brad, I know you're not a huge Ultimate Team player.
I actually saw this. I know exactly the names, by the way, which is a first on this show.
No, they take it away.
Yeah, the stars of the season they gave for the defensive side of the ball. They named 11 guys, right? 11 guys. I believe it was 3 D linemen, 3 linebackers, and then maybe it was 10 guys. 3 D line, 3 linebackers, 4 DBs. And free safety card, Louis Moore, Sweet Lou. Cornerback, D'Angelo Pons.
Not just cornerback, Brad.
Not
just cornerback. Specifically, cornerback 1.
Love that. Good stat correction. I'll accept that.
And then Fisher at Mike linebacker. So yeah, obviously love seeing those guys get honored. We want, like, it's what you want. You play well, you get good cards. That's the output of if the input's playing well, the output is you get a really cool card in College Football 26. So keep those coming all day, every day. There is new turf at the BART, Brad. I don't know if you saw that.
Finally.
And it looks great. Looks like 10 years younger, I think is what I saw Respectable Adam say. And then there
see the money from the Natty is trickling down. And with those already strong programs, basketball, soccer, baseball, swimming, dive, they're just going to be elevated. Right? Not that our swim dive team needs to be elevated in any way. Not that our soccer team needs to be elevated in any way. But like it's all going to come back, right? Everyone's going to get fed a little bit. And it all starts with football. I'm glad Pam Witten and Scott Dolson made the decision of putting that to priority because it's all just going to come back to the rest of the sports. And what was already a very strong athletic department. The only thing really missing, it was actually quite amazing how strong of an athletic department it was with such low football. It was quite impressive that they were actually able to have all that success in other sports without even being a blip of relevance in football up until, I'll say, Tom Allen, Kalen DeBoer, 2018. Basically zero relevance to the sport. And, yeah, it wasn't until Tom walked and Cignetti obviously ran all the way to the title that football wasn't a thing. And they've been able to, it's all going to come back. And basketball, I already called my shot, 2027 Sweet 16. Already called it. I don't even know who's going to be on the team next year. They're going to have to replace like 7 roster spots. Or 10. Like I discounted the freshmen to bring in because we already know those spots are taken. Dorn, Miles, maybe Ristich are back. And that's really it. Like they're gonna have a whole new team next year, and I'm already calling Sweet 16 because I have confidence that they're gonna be able to bring in some $2 million players, a few of them.
I like it. Brad, we got a little bit of insight into what Indiana's 2025 roster costs on the Wiltfong Whip Around. Pete Nakos confirmed Indiana's roster was around $20 million.
This past year?
Mm-hmm.
Scary news for everyone else. That's all I got to say. Scary, because I feel like that's low.
Yeah, I had a tweet a couple weeks ago of like, wait until everybody finds out what Indiana spent on this roster and they're going to lose their minds. And it's like everybody's racing to be the $60 million, $70 million roster. And it's like, make sure you're putting that money in the right spot first before you go and try and spend all of it.
Invest your money wisely. I feel like that's just a rule of thumb for life in and of itself. Yeah. That's all I got.
Indiana's Pro Day is going to be April 1st. That was from Field Yates. Dane Brugler came out with his top 100 players. Omar Cooper came in at number 27, meaning that's a first-round grade.
Mm-hmm.
Indiana's roster has 83 scholarships from our friend Jamie Jordan over at Hoosier Huddle and the IU Reactionary.
Let me see if that is – can you give me a sec to see if that is accurate? Because I just want to understand – because I'm looking at my roster right now, and I'm including Tyler Cherry. I'm including Utzinger as a Scully. Wait, so hold on. Let me do some quick math. Let me use my handy-dandy calculator.
Maybe we have Jamie on next week, and this is a good time to go.
Is Jack Greer a walk-on still? I'm not sure. Like, there's a lot of 19 scholarship D linemen, by the way. Crazy number. Insane. That is so many D linemen on Scully. 15 scholar. Assuming Clay Connor and Anthony Chung are still off scholarship. We have, I don't know if Quinn Warren's on scholarship or not. I'm at 87, so I think maybe Quinn Warren isn't on scholarship, and I don't know if he's including maybe Tyler Cherry is no longer on scholarship. I'm not sure. I'm at a higher number than that in terms of guys on camp. Now, we still have LeVar Keys, Kenton Mondu, and PJ McFarland, who aren't even on campus yet, but that was included in my count. I imagine we're not going over 85. So whatever it is,
that affects the rev share number.
We're going to be tapped at 85. So Yeah, because we're gonna value the money, and yeah, maybe Amari Kamara might go on walk on. I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen, but my number is 87, so I feel like it's a little off.
No, that's definitely off. There's no
I'll
way.
get back with Jamie. I'll get back.
I promise you, they're not. I think James. I'm gonna take. They're not.
How is Utzinger not on scholarship? Like that's just ridiculous. I'll fight for the kid here.
I think he is. I think your scholarship counts off though.
That's LB. That's LB4. So he's on the 2 deep. You know,
I would go as far as to say they're definitely not at 87 scholarships.
Okay.
I created a dope edit this week, Brad. I pinned it to my profile. You can go check that out if you haven't yet. But I want to wrap up the smoke here because I thought this was really interesting. I didn't really have a take when I saw it, and I figured I would just talk to you about it. Figured you'd have a lot to say. JD Pickle released a list of which programs are set up the best over the next 3 years. And I didn't see Indiana at number 1, and I just kind of kept scrolling. But his list was number 1, Oregon, number 2, Ohio State, number 3, Miami, number 4, Georgia, number 5, Notre Dame, number 6, Texas Tech, number 7, Indiana, number 8, Texas, number 9, Texas A&M, number 10, LSU.
I know. I remember seeing that same thing today, and I was taking a piss at the time, actually. I was at the urinal, and I was scrolling my phone, and I see that tweet. And obviously, anyone who watched the show knows thoughts just rush the brain immediately. Like, does he not know that Haynes and Shanahan are locked in for basically a 3-year championship window? We're talking dynasty here. Sig's locked in for 8, but like the point is we got Sig and Shanahan and Haynes for the next 2-3 years. So we have that going. And like, yeah, we could, JD Pickle, I'm sure on 3, like big stars guy. But like we have this crazy core, which is why I'm so excited to go through like our room deep dives of just these second year, first year guys coming in. We got a core of like 45, 50 of them now. Let me tell you. We're set up for success. Plenty. And I'll take top 10 all day, every day. Right?
Well,
that's where you want to be.
He went through the portal classes. They were 31 or 30 the first year. They were 27, I think, or even less than that the second year. And they were 17 this year.
It's just going to get less and less and less. It's still going to be a portal thing because, we still pretty top heavy, a lot of seniors at the top level. And it's like, okay, how many of these redshirt freshmen are going to be starters as redshirt sophomores? Probably not a whole lot, but they could definitely move up to the 2 deep for sure. A lot of them, as we'll see them thrive on special teams throughout the year. And we'll talk more into that. And that's how Cignetti operates, right? We're not going to throw in, if you want to be a 30-year guy and play, like you got to be a Charlie Becker and a Nick Marsh. And a Roe Hardy level guy, where it's like we're talking like long NFL careers for all 3 of those guys mentioned. Like you got to be one of them dudes. So
Landino and other,
and it's hard to be one of those dudes, right? But I'm saying like as a core, as a unit, like there's a lot of iron sharpening iron.